Okay, good evening, everybody. This is Ricketts in Clearwater, Florida, and I have a distinct pleasure of having the #1 producer for Paycation Travel with me tonight, and the person that's responsible for me being here. And we're excited that you're watching tonight. And what we're going to do is just kind of do a little overview. And first, we want to talk about how we got here. Me and Donald Bradley were in a previous company together. We're great friends. Was not in my business. Out of all the people in that company, if I wanted to be in business with somebody, Donald Bradley would who I'd want to be in business with, because he has a heart like I do, and he loves his family, loves his wife. And you know, there's important things in life is when you do business with somebody that you want to have a good feeling about who you're doing business with. So I kind of want to tell you how I got here. And of course, Donald called me consistently for about 3 to 4 months. And of course, I wouldn't listen because I really felt like that I was too old to do this again. And you know, it's hard starting all over in a business. But about roughly 11 weeks ago, a girl called me after my presentation. I was working for a phone company, a reseller for Sprint cell phones. And of course, she had watched the presentation, and she called me up and she said, "Rick, you know what, I'm really interested in working with you." But she said, "Does the company care if you're doing something else?" And I said, "Well, if it's not another phone company, they don't care." She said, "Well, I'm involved in Paycation Travel with Donald Bradley. And you know what, Rick, I've only brought 6 people personally into this business. And my residual income last month was over $2,000. And I did everything but tell her she was a liar, because I really didn't believe it, because I didn't understand how powerful this pay plan is here at Paycation Travel. So then the next week, Donald calls me back, and I let Donald take over here and tell you kind of how this happened. And this is Donald Bradley, the #1 income earner for Paycation Travel.
Well, you know, Rick, I tell you, I always thought, I said, man, after we started in Paycation Travel and started making residual income, not just, you know, some of the networkers, but individuals like the young lady you mentioned had a chance to benefit from leveraging the time and talent of some of the builders and making over $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 a month residually. And I understand the way that people like you and I make money is showing other people, the average person, how to make money. So, Rick, I only could imagine. I know you put over 600 people personally sponsored in the previous deal and made over $10 million on a 50% match. I woke up every morning, going to bed every night thinking, my goodness, what could Ricketts do with this aggressive compensation plan?
Well, you know, Donald, I just thank you for being patient enough to call me every week and make me finally wake up and see what an unbelievable opportunity this is. You know, Donald is right. Me and him worked in another travel company, and we were great friends. And in that travel company, we had something called a 50% match. And if you personally brought somebody into the business, if they made $100, you made $50. Just think about this, folks. We have a compensation plan here that has a 100% match. Donald says it better than anybody else. On our DVD, he says this: if they make $1, you make $1. If they make $100, you make $100. If they get rich, you get rich. That's scary, folks, that one person that you could bring into this business, if you were lucky enough and blessed enough to sponsor somebody like Donald Bradley and have a 100% match on their income. So as we talk here tonight a little bit, Donald, you've been in it with the company now 7 months, and now have brought over 8,000 people to this company in 7 months. And I think Donald told me the last time we talked, Donald, you sponsored about 31 people personally?
Yes, actually, to this date, it's a total of 40.
40 people.
Yes. The first 40 days and 40 nights, we had over 4,000 people. And now, Rick, is over 10,000, you know, of us. And it's, as you well know, it's not necessarily we go through those individuals, but the reality of it is it's 10 people that I could track those 4,000 initial people to their lineage that I personally sponsored, that I override. And now they're going out and duplicating the same thing, one person at a time. And Rick, we know this is the only business that we've truly been in where you get paid to help other people. Of course, Rick, 100% of zero is zero, right?
Yeah, you know, I used to tell people all the time, I said, if you do nothing, I make nothing.
That's right.
And you make nothing. So we don't want to tell you that this is all you got to do is get in. Folks, you got to get in and you got to participate and you got to work. This is America, but you know, there's no free lunch. And I'm so glad that I finally listened to Donald and saw how powerful this pay plan is. What we're going to do is we have a slide up on the screen now. I want to kind of explain to you and let Donald help you along here as we do it. See, the first 2 people that you personally sponsor into the business, Donald, and I know you were very careful about who your first 2 people were, because the first 2 people you bring in this business, there's a 150% match, Donald. Tell me how that works, Donald.
You know, it's a coded bonus system that every time they make $10 off of a sale, I make $15 for the lifetime of their business. That's a 150% match for those first 2 individuals. So you want to be careful.
You want to be careful. Make sure you bring a Donald Bradley in your first or second position. That's powerful.
That's right, Rick. If I was coming to your meeting tonight, I'd come into this meeting, and on my way home, or if not from your from your office, I would call those 2 people that I know that are looking for an opportunity and willing to go after it. So the first 2 people, you're right, 150% match. But Rick, what about those? I told you I have 40 people. What about those other 38 people?
What Donald is talking about there, from then on, folks, it's not bad. It's 100% matching bonus.
That's right.
See, when I was in my previous company, when I looked at the pay plan, I said, I've got this figured out. In that company, we had a 50% match. I said, I'm going to personally bring 100 people in this business, Donald, and I'm going to help them make $1,000 a month. See, folks, this thing is not about Donald Bradley or Rick Ricketts.
Right.
This is about what you want. If you can help people make an extra $1,000 a month, you can literally change people's lives. And I told the owner of that company, I said, you know, I'm going to personally help 100 people make $1,000 a month. And if I do that, my match would be $50,000 a month. Just think.
Wow.
If you personally help 100 people here, Donald, and you can do that, and I can do that, if you help 100 people make $1,000 a month, your match would be $100,000 a month. You know, that's just simply unbelievable, especially with a business that's fun. You know, when I left the travel industry, I got involved in a product-driven business, and people had to buy so much product every month. Folks, at the end, I called up all of my people and said, I don't want you buying that product just so I can get a check. See, the great thing about this business is you get a real business here for less than $100, Donald. $100. Talk about that, Donald.
That's the key. That's the key, Rick, because, you know, we're builders. We could go out there and sell large investments, based companies, but for less than $100, the stay-at-home mom, you know, the single mom, you know, the school teacher, as well as the professor, the doctors, and the lawyers can get involved in this business and help average people make above average income. So our matches inside those 40 people, they come from all different walks of life, not just the big networkers. And you're right. I have stay-at-home moms that are making over $1,000 a month after 6 months of doing this business.
Off of the matrix.
Off of the matrix, off of the spillover. They get a chance to leverage the time and talent of people like you and I. You know?
That just amazes me when you talk about being able to bring somebody in who's not a professional networker like Donald Bradley, and he is one of the best in the industry. Don't think that you can do what Donald Bradley does, because he's 1 in a million. But if Donald Bradley puts you in this business and you get spillover from what he does, is that unbelievable? You know, I remember telling a guy in my previous company, would an extra $1,000 a month change things for you? He said, no, but it would change my zip code. Folks, would you like to change your zip code? We got a business here that will really help you change your zip code if you're serious about it. So what we talked about earlier is, see, from the shows on the screen here, if Nancy's your 3rd person, you're going to match her income 100%. If Mark is your 1st person, you're going to match his income. And just think, Donald, when those 2 people are putting people, they're coded, and they're making $10 bills. That's the unlimited depth. Tell them about that, Donald.
That's right. That's right. Rick, from my 3rd person to my 40th person, I'm getting 100% match. I've got to, you know, say that clearly. J. Paul Getty, one of the first documented billionaires that ever walked the face of the United States, said I'd rather get paid 1% efforts of 100 people. So Rick, when you think about 100% match of another individual, and it's unlimited. I mean, tomorrow you and I are going to go out here and we're going to personally sponsor somebody else, because we're not going to stop. This is not a Florida-based business. I was in Oklahoma City yesterday, California over the weekend. There are people around the United States that are looking for opportunity, and for less than $100 investment, they're getting involved in this.
How can you go wrong for less than $100? You know, I told people in my previous company, I had a large group out of Miami, Florida that was Cuban. And I used to tell everybody all the time, I knew 2 words in Spanish. That was mucho dinero. But if you find the right person in Miami, he knows all the other words, and that's the only thing that's important. That's right. You know, somebody asked me the other day, Rick, can you put people in this business in Puerto Rico? And I said, yeah. But you know what's really wonderful? There's more Puerto Ricans in New York City than there is in Puerto Rico. That's how powerful this thing is.
Right.
All this business is about pockets of people, and it's about people that want to change something. So as you're looking at this tonight, if you're that person and you're looking to change something, you think we got the right deal in the right company?
Absolutely. And Rick, I got to say this, just as important as our money is our time, good quality of life for less than $100 investment, we go on 3 dream vacations a year, better known as our conference, better known as educational opportunities. We just came back from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Unbelievable.
We had over 12 to 1,500 people that wouldn't ordinarily stay in a 5-star like the Venetian property. They're learning their business. The more they learn, the more they're going to earn. Back in December, we went to the El Dorado Resort. It was I had a chance to go place with a group of my team members who wouldn't ordinarily be at a 5-star with butler service, all you can eat, all you can drink, learning their business. You know, in October, we're going to be heading to the Barcelo, where we're going to take thousands of people. They're going to have their passports. We're going to leave the country, and we're going to go to a 5-star, have a great time, learn our business, and when they get back, they're going to be fired up, getting ready for the next dream vacation.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. We got something special here, and what I want to talk to you about now, and we talked about this a little bit further. I want you to look on this page here, Donald, that it's going to be showing on the screen, and I drew this up, and I want Donald to go over this again from what you see on the screen, folks.
Yeah, and this is what you call the match on a personally sponsored reps. Rick, again, we had a great time helping people in previous companies making a $2 residual. Over here, we have a $3.20 residual.
Ooh, is that big?
And what's bigger than that is that when you make $1,000 residually, I make $1,000 because
like
of the
that,
match.
don't you?
Absolutely.
We're going to become better friends than we
right.
ever were, right?
That's right. And I tell people all over the country, every time you see the word match, they're saying, everybody that you bring into this company, that you personally sponsor, and you see the word match, that means we're going to match it, and 100% match off another person's residual income. That's huge.
You know, I just sit and think about what Donald's residual is now, over $20,000 a month residual. I'm not talking about bonus money. I'm talking about something that comes every month. And what's really great for Donald, it keeps getting bigger every month. And of course, I am personally sponsored by Donald. I'm really thrilled about that, because in this business, it may be more important who brings you into this business and who you bring into this business. So I'm thrilled that Donald Bradley brought me into this business. So as you look at this slide, it just goes to show you again the first 2 people. If Kim's your second person, Donald, and she makes $2,000, what do you make?
I'm gonna make $3,000, and she's my first. I'm gonna make $2,000.
Is that scary or what?
That's fine. And Rick, the great thing about it is I'm not limited to 2 people or 4 people. We're 7 months into this, right? And what's gonna happen 7 months from now? What's gonna happen a year from now, 2 years from now? This is Florida. I live in Georgia. How about California, where there's less than 500 people doing this business right now? A state that has over 39 million people.
The 5th largest economy in the world.
That's right.
Just in California. When you think about that, and you think about where we are here in Florida, and like I said earlier, this business is about pockets of people. And I think about putting maybe a Mexican person from Mexico in this business, and then putting their brother in the business in Mexico City next week.
That's right.
Or the next day. Is that
right.
unbelievable or what?
Rick, that's unbelievable, because we're partnered with a technology company that this website is designed to go in over 26 different languages. So again, we can translate this business into other economies, and guess what? It's still going to be less than 100 US. That's the key, Rick. Because, you know, we've sold businesses before where, you know, it's a conversation when you selling a $500 business or plus. But for less than $100, it's not. It's just a simple conversation, regardless of what language or what country we're in.
You know, that's just like today. I got a call about 3 o'clock. I was getting ready for this meeting tonight with you. And I got a call from a guy from Miami. He said, Rick, I've been watching this for 3 weeks on the internet. I do a presentation every Tuesday night at 7:30. And he said, I've been trying to find a reason not to do this. But for less than $100, I can't find a reason. And I'm gonna tell you something. I had more fun in the travel industry than I had anywhere else. But we have a pay plan here that will just absolutely positively set you financially free. Donald, would you explain the matrix to him just a little bit?
Yes, and everybody, you know, don't try to take everything that I'm saying about the matrix. It's why I'm in this company right now. It's called a 3x7 force matrix, which means you personally, you have 3 people on the front line, 3 wide, and you get paid 7 generations deep. Even though I personally sponsored 40 people, Rick, only 3 of them could be front line to me. What happened to the other 37? It was called a blessing. They fell somewhere into my downline. Right? So 37 people that I personally sponsored fell under someone. That means that if I brought in Tim as my 4th person and Tim fell under my 1st person, that person doesn't need to be a builder. Because if Tim goes out there and becomes a diamond and brings 500 people in the business, that's 500 people that individual benefits from. And every time anybody comes into that business, they're falling under that person's downline in the matrix. They're going to be making residual income anywhere from $2 per person to $8 per person per month off of someone, a team that they never even knew. That's powerful.
Could we, Donald, as we worked in that other company, we could never help people that way, could we?
Right.
We never had the ability to help people that way. See, somebody brings you into this business, and like Donald said, you may get the blessing from them bringing you in. Most people think when you show them a business like this, they're doing it for themselves. I'm here to tell you, I believe every day when I get up and I show this business to somebody, I'm doing them a favor. Just like I believe that Donald Bradley did me a favor. I want to show you this next slide because I think it's so important. Donald was talking earlier about it can only be 3 people front line. So those first 3 people Donald put in every month when they paid for their website, he made $2. That's a total of $6. But on the second level, they pay $6 on your second level. They can be only 9 people there, right, Donald?
Right.
That's $54. Do you realize just from those 2 levels, that can pay your cost of doing business every month?
We have something called auto deduct, and Rick, my objective when I bring somebody into the business is to get them making $60 a month so their business is free and clear.
That's
At that point they have a free business, they can take advantage of tax benefits, take advantage of the travel savings, and start beginning making money. And they only have to bring one person in themselves personally. And in this matrix, as you keep going down, you see that there's $25,000 worth of potential income in this matrix. I've already penetrated over $15,000 of it, Rick. And don't say it to impress anyone, but just to say in 7 months, as a result of my team working together, just like the team you're putting together right now, Rick, we're all benefiting from it. Every level as it goes down, we go from $2 to $6, all the way to the 5th level, where it's $8 per person per month on the 5th, 6th, and 7th level. That's powerful.
Folks, when I got involved in this business, I'll never forget going to the home office in Dallas, Texas, and meeting David Manning, the founder of this company. And I really bought into David, and I had already bought into Donald Bradley because I know the kind of person he is. But when I went out there and saw, that was back in February. I joined February the 17th. At that time, Donald then had over 1,800 people just on his 5th, 6th, and 7th level. And on the 5th, 6th, and 7th level, folks, I'm not a mathematician, but I know that 1,800 times $8 is a lot of money, isn't it, Donald? It's a lot of money. And all I can tell you is, folks, that's not because he put them there. Somebody in the matrix put some people there who put some people there. So what we've got here is an opportunity for somebody that's not a big networker like Donald to participate in this matrix, and an extra $1,000 a month, like we talked about earlier, changes people's lives.
And Rick, I gotta say this before you go on about the matrix. The company says, there's that word match again. David Manning, as you mentioned, he's got a very aggressive compensation plan. He's a compensation plan specialist. He said, everybody that you personally sponsor, we're gonna give you a 10% match of their matrix.
Oh,
I've got 2 guys right now that they're matrix over $10,000 a month already the first 7 months. And David Manning's giving me a 10% match off of their matrix just because I personally brought them into the business, saying, thank you, Donald Bradley. Without you, I would have never met these guys. So we're going to give you another 10%. A 10% match of $10,000 is $1,000 a piece per person per month. And then there's another, Rick, there's another 8% off of everybody that's coded to you off of their matrix. So don't try to understand everything about this, but you can understand every time you see the word match, you should be smiling. The match should be a magic word for you. You're going to go on a carpet right here with the match. What I want to tell you, we're looking at the screen here, we're talking about achieving levels in our company, and the first major position you want to achieve is international. By personally sponsoring 15 people and having 10 people, having 3 people in your downline who have personally sponsored 10 people, they start kicking out a little bit of bonus, don't they, Donald? It's called a $600 lifestyle bonus, not a car bonus. You can get whatever you like with this $600. And in my opinion, Rick, this is the key to the compensation plan. People say, Donald, I just want to make an extra $1,000 a month. Well, I can show you exactly how you do it. Go out there and personally sponsor 15 people, help 3 of those 15 get 10. That's equivalent to about 45 people. You're gonna make a check for $600 on the 15th day of every month, and at that point, you're making over $400 with the rest of the compensation plan, and guaranteed to that particular point that you're making over $1,000.
What's so powerful about that, Donald? I was on Facebook today looking at all these people who are driving Mercedes from all these different companies. They don't tell you about all of them that got sent back because they didn't reach their quota last month. See, we don't make you go out and buy a car, and then when you don't reach your quota, we don't help you make the payment. See, they're going to pay you $600 a month every month, and then the next bonus, of course, is $1,000 a month. But what I want Donald to talk about right now is the diamond team that's in this company and how you get paid from the diamond team here, Donald.
Well, Rick, David and I had a conversation, and for the big builder, like a Rick Ricketts and so many others around the country, what happens if you contribute 500 people to this company? And that's what David Manning wants to do. By the end of 2016, he wants to have over 100,000 people in this company. So we're looking for those big builders. We're going to give you an extra $2,000 a month when you get a team of 500 people combined overall team. And when that goes to 500, goes to 1,500, we're going to take that $2,000 stipend and more than double it and make it $5,000 a month. And it's a great feeling. Just had 2 guys in my organization hit that inside 6 months. National Diamond have 2 teams of over 1,500 people getting $5,000 a month. You know, it keeps going. They're going to continue to reward you as your team grows, as you help your team build. International Diamond says you have 4,000 people. We're going to take that $5,000 monthly stipend and turn it to a $10,000 a month. Presidential Diamond, I just hit this point where there's over 10,000 people on my team. My monthly stipend is grown to $16,000 a month. Rick, and you're a big builder. I've seen you put over 60,000 people into a business. So 25,000 people, you can see that. You hit 1-star Presidential Diamond, your stipend will go from $16,000 to $30,000. It keeps going, Rick. It keeps going. 50,000 people, $50,000 extra dollars. 100,000 people, 100,000 extra dollars. 250,000 people, $250,000 extra dollars per person.
Do you know what's so powerful here, Donald? I sit and think. At one time in that previous company, I had 60,000 people, and every month I got paid $2, which was $120,000 a month residual income off people every month. But you know what's so exciting here? When I joined this company in February, I was in the home office, and I said, I just want to see what's happening here, David. And David showed me Donald's check. And that month, in January, he had that $5,000 bonus, and it was very impressive on his printout. But you know what happened? The next month, it wasn't $5,000, it was $10,000. It went from $5,000, folks. It went from $5,000 bonus in January to $10,000 bonus. And let me tell you what that is, folks. That's not a one-time bonus. That comes every month. The only thing when you're like Donald Bradley, every month it seems to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And what I want to say to you folks is I don't want to get past what we're talking here. An extra $500 or $1,000 a month would change 90% of the people's lives and that I know of. And folks, if you're watching this tonight on our website, you've just got to figure out what part of this business you want and how big you want this to be for you and your family. And I really do believe that we got something so special here. But I want Donald, you see Donald talked earlier about, he brought some key leaders here. Is that what you did, Donald?
Absolutely. Helping people, Rick. I was blessed 9 years ago to run into $1 million income earners like yourself, Floyd Williams and some of those guys. And more important than being excited is to be educated. And what we're going to do tonight in your training center is we're going to educate some individuals and show them how to make a living, show them how to make, how average people can make above average income, show them how ordinary people can live extraordinary lives. So the mentorship, the coaching, Rick, is phenomenal when you get involved in this business. And I think that is a single reason why most people that's looking at this cast tonight should get involved in the business.
You know, probably, I had somebody that was on my team in my previous company, and I've tried to get them to listen to me about this business. And one of the things that's stopping them is they thought they were so big in the other company that they were too big to be underneath somebody else. You know, to me, everybody has to bring somebody to the table. And I'm so thankful that Donald Bradley was patient enough with me for almost 4 months until I was willing to listen. See, life is about opportunities, folks. I believe that everything in life happens for a reason. I went to watch my grandson play an AAU basketball tournament this weekend, and on Saturday he had 24 points. You know, he had 7 threes, but Sunday he ran up against a team that was just so much bigger and so much stronger. But you know, life is about what you do for your family, and I think what makes this key here, and one of the things that made me listen to Donald Bradley is I knew the kind of guy that Donald was. He's going to tell you about his family right now. And what I want to say to you folks, if you're here tonight and you're looking at this is about what you want to do to change your family's financial picture. So I would just tell you to listen to Donald and let him explain to you how big he thinks this is for all of you.
Well, Rick, I've come from very humble beginnings. Very fortunate to take this business very serious because I have 4 kids. Now I'm going to have 3 in college at one time in 2016, and I say that to people because everybody has a reason why they should want to do something a little different, a little special for their family. 9 years ago, again, driving around in a 1994 Dodge Caravan with 3 hubcaps, which I eventually took off so they could match, and I say that because no matter where you are tonight, you can take a $100 investment, less than a $100 investment, partner with people who understand how to get out of the rat race.
Right.
I was very fortunate again to have, people like yourself that had modeled and demonstrated what it looked like, on a day-to-day basis, to go from making an extra $500 a month to making an extra $500 a day. It just depends on your desire, your drive, and your sure willingness to win for you and your family. So now, again, I spend every day of my life looking for people who are looking for me, going where I'm celebrated, not where I'm tolerated. And Rick, I'm just so proud to be in partnership with you.
Well, the feeling is mutual, Donald, and I'm so thrilled to have you here in our center tonight. Let me tell you something, folks. I really do believe that I get up every Monday morning and restart my business. Something's going to happen this Monday that's going to change my future and change somebody else's. So if you're watching this tonight, remember this, folks. Opportunities don't go away. They just go to somebody else. God bless you. Y'all have a great week. Thank you.